summers was nice and warm that year. The sun as always brought warmth to your skin. Light breezes swept through the neighborhood and made the days not too cold or hot or cold. It was simply perfect weather. But there was one summer Sally will never forget. Sally was a young girl, 8 years old, with a curly brown hair and bright green eyes, and she was always polite, and she never lied and did as she was told. Her mother and father simply adored her. They couldn't ask for a better daughter. Sally giggled as she played with her friends outside their home. Curious games, curious games like hopscotch and jump rope, even dolls and tag. Sally's mother smiled with an innocent smile, put her hands on her apron, called out, "Sally, come inside now, it's time for lunch." Sally looked from her doll and smiled. "All right, Mommy. Okay, Mommy." Sitting down at the dinner table, Sally slightly bounced in her seat, said for, for who knows what. Her mother placed with a peanut butter and jelly crack sandwich with a crust cut off, some carrots and celery sticks on the side, and juice to drink. "Thank you, Mama." "You're welcome, sweetheart." A child began to take her food up her sandwich, and her mother took a seat across from the girl and smiled, watching her eat. "Guess what? Your Uncle Johnny is coming over." Sally looked up and smiled, corners of her lips and traces of the peanut butter on them. Uncle Johnny," she replied through her food. Her mother laughed and nodded. He's coming to help Daddy with his job and look after you, too. Maybe all of us can go to carnival." Sally chewed the rest of the food and swallowed. "Can Sarah and Jenny come too?" Her mother looked and thought. "Well, that's up to their moms and dads to say. But if they can, sure." Again the child giggled and bounced in her seat, now even more excited than this year's summer vacation. Of course, for the next few days, Uncle Johnny drove up to the house, and climbing out of his car, the man stretched his arms all over his head and let out a tired sigh. "Uncle Johnny," a small voice chirped, earning the attention of the man. Sally dropped the jump rope she was playing with and ran over to her family member, hugging him. "Hey, Sal, how have you been?" he asked, lifting the girl up with ease and gave her a proper hug. The girl giggled and looked back to her friends, who were now waving in their direction. "I've been playing with Sarah and Jenny. Let's go inside and tell Mama you're here." "Sounds like a great idea." He smiled and walked inside the house, calling out the woman. "Marie, I'm here," he called, followed by Sally mimicking him. "Mama, he's here." The housewife hurried out of the kitchen and smiled. "Good to see you, Johnny," had made it. "Johnny, you got here safe and sound." The man placed the girl on the ground and gave her a bottom pat and to send her off and hug the woman. "Of course I did. Why wouldn't I come here safe and sound?" he laughed, walking across the kitchen with the woman. Sally trotted over to the front door, calling out that she was going outside to play. "Make sure you come back before dark." "Yes, ma'am." And the girl went off. As dinner drew near, Sally's father had come home, and he was happy to see his brother as well. Walking in with his daughter, he strolled up to Johnny and handshake and hug. Nice to see you, man. How have you been?" he asked, crossing his arms, watching his wife at the tables for supper. Johnny gave a shrugged on his shoulders, feeling with his thumbs. Karen and I split up. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Johnny shook his hands with a smile. Nah, it's alright. I'm happy that I moved here freely without having someone constantly wanting to know that I am what I am doing. The two men laughed together, making their way to the table to eat. Marie, this is wonderful. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Mm-hmm. It's yummy, Mama. The adult smiled and chuckled at the child's praise. Plate after plate was empty. Sally began to yawn over and over again, rubbing her eyes in with her hands. Her mother smiled and gently rubbed her back. Looks like someone's tired. Time for bed. Sally nodded and hopped up to her seat and picking her plate and carrying into the sink. Her mother rose up to take her to the bed, but stopped when John grabbed hold the arm of her arm. I'll take her to bed. He smiled, earning one in return. All right, thank you, John. The man nodded and watching the woman make her way to clean the dishes and put away any leftovers. Then he to see his brother leave with the bedroom to wash up and following after the young girl to her room. John smiled and closed the door behind him, watching the girl rummage around through her dresser for pajamas to wear. You need any help? He asked. Watching the girl looking up and nod. Okay, let's see what you've got. The man waddled up alongside her and began looking through her fairy's pajamas. You have some strawberry printed ones. I bet you'll smell like them in your dreams. He held up his shirt and showed her, giving it for deep inhales. Sally giggled and shook her head, thinking that she didn't want to wear in her strawberry pajamas. Johnny nodded and placed the shirt back on. Then he pulled another shirt with a unicorn on it. How about this one? Bet you read the Miss Unicorn there. Again the child giggled and her head no. The man lit a puff and bore, placing it back and then took the regular pink nightgown with Sally on the back. How about this? How about to turn to a princess with this? And Sally's eyes lit up and clapped her hands slightly and nodded. Placing the back gown on her bed, he reached over to her and began to unbutton her shirts. I can dress, Uncle. She smiled. She said with a smile and looking her as hands on her shirt. The man smiled back and nodded, continued to work on his way down her shirt.